This is a CBS7 First Alert Weather Day. Now, an update from the First Alert Weather Center.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW and live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Alexandra Macia here with Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefer-Teller. Now, it is a CBS7 First Alert Weather Day for the extreme heat. Tom, are these temperatures going to let up anytime soon?
Looks like one more day of it in the forecast, but today's extreme daytime heating of up to 110 degrees is kicking off showers and thunderstorms that are moving down across portions of Ector County, where we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect around the Gardendale area down towards Goldsmith, bearing down on West Odessa. Biggest threat here is a possibility of wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Microburst winds underneath these thunderstorms have been produced around the Gardendale area, getting numerous reports of strong winds in that location. Other scattered showers and thunder showers starting to weaken quite a bit, but as they do, they could produce some of those gusty winds in excess of 45 to 50 miles an hour throughout the rest of the evening, and even here across portions of southeast of Mexico. Looking at our live iCam in Odessa, you can see some of the rain that's falling and the gusty winds that are occasionally associated with these storms moving in across the city of Odessa, which is trying to cool off temperatures a little bit. Still into the mid to upper 90s out there, but a little cooler up towards Seminole. Hobbs at 88 degrees now after some thunderstorms moving through, and the winds have been a little gusty. Plenty of lightning there too associated with these storms. We had a gust currently up to 37 miles an hour, but again, in the vicinity of that thunderstorm just to the northwest of the city of Odessa, north of West Odessa, that's where we could be looking at wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, microburst winds from these dying thunderstorms. Tomorrow, more of the same on the way, as we just can't shake the triple-digit heat, and it looks like we could be possibly flirting with another record high.
Thanks, Tom. The Texas House and Senate reached a deal to deliver about $20 billion in property tax relief to Texans. Representative Landgraf says the total savings is larger than some other states' entire annual budget. The Texas House and Senate reached the largest tax cut deal in our state's history.
All told, it's going to be worth about $20 billion. It's going to help save the average Texas homeowner about $1,330 per year over the next couple of years.
Representative Brooks Landgraf says the agreement includes structural changes.
We were going to increase the homestead exemption to where the first $100,000 of your home is basically exempt from being taxed. And we also have some other good measures like a 20% cap on how much an appraisal can go up for commercial property.
There will be a $12 billion schools tax rate reduction, franchise tax savings for small businesses, and for counties with more than 75,000 residents, newly elected appraisal board positions to appoint an appraisal review board.
We're still coming off the heels of record-breaking inflation. People need to have that money to help meet the needs of their household budgets, and I'm really happy that we're going to have a vote on Thursday to make sure that that gets done.
The savings is bigger than the entire budget of a lot of states.
In Texas, we say go big or go home. We're definitely going big with these property tax cuts.
Landgraf says he expects a vote and a proposal sent to Governor Abbott's desk no later than Thursday of this week. Our Representative August Pfluger recently returned from Central America. Take a look at his trip. You're looking at video taken at the Darien Gap, the land between Panama and Colombia. Pfluger says visiting these areas and seeing root problems of drug and human trafficking firsthand is important for U.S. leaders.
That's the main reason we want to see this area, is to see what the threat is to the United States and understand how the trafficking organizations are using it, why they're picking and choosing this area, and the toll that it's taking, not just on those countries, but the destination for everyone who's crossing through the Darien region is the United States.
Pfluger says it's trips like these that help lawmakers see what policies work and which ones don't.
We have a commitment to secure our border. We have a commitment to secure our country. Americans deserve that. And the choice has been pretty clear. The Biden administration has a wide open border policy that has created chaos, and we're doing everything we can to hold them accountable. This was part of it. We will continue to do this type of work to highlight what policy actually does work.
Pfluger was part of a bipartisan delegation of lawmakers, including some from North Carolina and Florida. In your education news, if you happen to pass by Odessa College this afternoon, you may have noticed a large presence of emergency response units. Odessa College had a mass casualty drill to train its students in case of a tragedy. This year's drill involves a bomb explosion that injured multiple people. Alarms and alerts went out throughout the school and to students' phones to make it as real as possible. Although this training isn't real, it's the closest thing that medical students could experience in case of an actual emergency.
We've been able to partner with our Odessa College Police Department and use this as our annual training for them as well. And so all these partners coming together to make sure we're preparing students for real world events that we hope don't happen, but we want to be prepared for when they do happen.
Because they want this training to be as real as possible, media was not allowed indoors while the simulation began. However, Cornelia says that many Odessa College alumni have told her that these trainings have helped them in their careers. And back to school shopping will start again soon. But for the third year in a row, parents and students in Big Spring don't need to buy supplies. When students arrive at school for the first day, they will receive supplies that include notebooks, pencils, glue sticks, and more, depending on the grade level and what their curriculum requires. This program started after students left school because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the district saw a great opportunity with the help of money from a federal elementary and secondary school emergency relief grant.
We knew we had people that were struggling. What better way than to help our community and our parents by supplying all of the school supplies for them that year after COVID.
The school district has spent around $150,000 each year on the supplies for every student. EPI School Supplies works with the schools to make the boxes for each grade level. And OPD, MPD, and the Midland and Ector County Sheriff's Offices received $135,000 each from the Basin for Badges fundraiser. The department will use a substantial part of the money for drone upgrades after they played an integral part in the search for Madeline Pantoja. Drones are used constantly at MPD to create maps of crash scenes or to find missing people. Most of the department's current drones can run for 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the weather. They operate best in the daytime, and the May search for Pantoja was taxing on the department's equipment, prompting the need for new drones.
Numerous hours of flight time that we spent searching, and it was a use of the drone that we were able to locate her.
That's why the department is dedicating much of the funds to drones with better batteries, plus thermal and night vision. MPD's crisis hostage unit will also get new equipment. The department's gym will also see repairs. And in the community, Justin Granado is the gym owner of CrossFit 432. In September, he is going to celebrate 11 years as a gym owner, but he had to go through some difficult obstacles to achieve his dreams. As a student in college, Granado managed a Blockbuster video store, and he was having financial trouble. When Blockbuster Video started shutting down, he knew he had to turn his life around.
The time that was the brokest moment for me helped save me, and I just feel like now, in these years past, have been my opportunity to pay it forward to people around me.
13 years ago, he became a personal trainer and started his journey to become a gym owner. Now that he is one, he shares a message in his classes about creating opportunities and having a vision to make dreams come true. Senior Life Midland's new building project is at the halfway mark with an estimated completion of December 2023. Senior Life board members, including CBS7's Jay Hendricks, got to see the progress of the building today. The new building will have increased kitchen capacity, ADA compliance, additional office space, a new dedicated room for food storage, and an education and training center. If you would like to help or volunteer, call the Senior Life Midland office or visit their website. Speaking of new buildings, Brantley Creek Barbecue has just opened a permanent location at 3541 Faudree Road in Odessa. Check out the new space. Viewers may remember when CBS7's Mary Kate Hamilton covered Brantley Creek Barbecue for Small Business Summer last year. At that time, the local business was operating out of a food truck. The brick and mortar location had its official opening this morning at 11 a.m. Now for a look at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers on CBS7.com. See all these stories and more by downloading our app or visiting our website at CBS7.com. And still ahead, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky met with President Biden today at the NATO summit. We'll have the latest on their discussions coming up next on CBS7 News at 9. President Biden heads to Finland following a historic NATO summit. Member counties committed to a pathway for Ukraine's entrance into the alliance. CBS's Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
President Biden capped the two-day NATO summit in Lithuania by emphasizing the military alliance's united front in rallying around Ukraine.
We are steeled for the struggle ahead. Our unity will not falter, I promise you.
During a meeting with the country's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, President Biden made clear that Ukraine's future lies within NATO. It's just unclear when.
It's going to happen. You're all moving in the right direction. I think it's just a matter of getting by the next few months.
Assurances that Zelensky considers a success following the first ever NATO-Ukraine Council, despite earlier expressing frustration over a lack of timeline.
At the end of the summit we had, I think, this council had great success and security guarantees, as you said.
Ukraine walked away with a long-term security commitment from President Biden and allies while the war-torn country waits for full NATO membership.
Ukraine is now closer to NATO than ever before. Allies reaffirmed that Ukraine will become a member of the alliance.
With Russia's war on Ukraine still underway, allies say now is not the time since it would draw NATO countries into direct conflict. They also want Ukraine to meet certain conditions, including fighting corruption. President Biden now heads to NATO's newest member country, Finland, to meet with Nordic leaders. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Sweden's prime minister will be among the leaders in attendance at the Nordic summit. This comes as Turkey's president today hinted that Sweden joining NATO could still take some time, saying a final decision rests with the parliament.
Well, we are seeing a very, very hot day turn into a stormy night across parts of the Permian Basin. We'll get you update on the thunderstorms that are rolling through coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, let's take a look outside in Odessa where thunderstorms are moving across. It is a little bit of a rain coming down, and we are seeing those gusty winds in excess of 60 miles an hour associated with this severe thunderstorm that's moving off to the southwest. You can kind of see some of that with the streaks there. That's what's produced the gusty winds in Gardendale. And there was also a gustnado, I think, in that location too, with some very gusty winds, probably kicked up by that microburst that did move across there. Well, now it's moving across to the south and southwest. We'll take a look at it on radar right now and show you the severe thunderstorm warning area. Here's the severe thunderstorm itself out by Goldsmith in 866 right now, moving off to the southwest, still capable of producing wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. And a lot of lightning associated with this. Other scattered showers, thunderstorms down around Monahans over towards Wickett and Pyote right now, and also up towards the Jowl area too, looking at some of that thunderstorm activity. It's all being kicked off by extreme daytime heating as we saw a record high of 110 degrees, only got down to 82 this morning. And that's the fourth time we've hit 110 plus this year so far, as high temperatures again were up there for many locations, the hot spots. Well, Pecos was up to 111, Cayenosa up to 113, and Rio Grande Village up to 115 degrees today. So you can see it was an extremely hot day. Current temperatures with all that lightning out there are trying to cool off a little bit. We're at 97 in Odessa, but still 100 out at the Midland National Air and Spaceport, and 103 in and around Monahans, as winds are a little gusty in the vicinity of some of these thunderstorms, now gusting up to 36 out at the Midland National Air and Spaceport, but closer to that severe thunderstorm in excess of 50 miles an hour as those scattered showers, thunderstorms continue to push off to the south and southwest. High pressure still in control of the weather, so we're going to see a lot more heat in the forecast here over the next 24 hours, and probably a radar that looks like this for tomorrow, as temperatures across the state were hot. The hottest stuff was back here across West Texas, with Lubbock also up to 110 degrees. West Texas Futurecast shows everything starting to wind down thunderstorm wise by midnight, but southeast of Mexico, the mountain areas, favored areas for isolated showers and thunderstorms coming up for tomorrow afternoon, as excessive heat warnings remain in effect in the mountain areas for tomorrow, and heat advisories in effect for everybody else for your Thursday. So again, we're going to cool off a little bit into the overnight, but only down into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And then tomorrow, more temperatures above 105 degrees across the area, but that high pressure causing all this starts to weaken a little bit and maybe slip off to the west. So we're going to see just slightly milder temperatures this weekend, but still hot though, as triple digits look to hold on all the way through next week.
Up next, Jacob Brandenburg begins previewing Big 12 football teams, what you need to know after the break.
Time now for CBS7 First Alert Sports with Jacob Brandenburg.
Big 12 Conference Media Days began today in Arlington. Obviously, I am not there, but we can still talk about it. The Big 12 added some new teams, so it's actually a Big 14 now. Let's talk about the 7 that were featured today. The headliner, as usual, was the Texas Longhorns. Love them or hate them, UT always gets people talking. Texas was picked by the media to win the Big 12 this season. The Longhorns haven't done that since 2009. There'll be a lot of talk about quarterbacks Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning, but the Longhorns' best player may be linebacker Jalen Ford. He's the Big 12 preseason defensive MVP. The TCU Horned Frogs were one of the best teams in the country last season. They played in the national championship game. Now it's year 2 under our guy, Sonny Dykes. If you didn't know, Sonny was born in Big Spring and grew up in Midland. His dad is coaching legend Spike Dykes. The Frogs lost a lot of key players from last year's team. That includes at quarterback, where Chandler Morris will take over. He was supposed to be the starter last year before he got injured. The Baylor Bears are trying to bounce back from a down year. Baylor won the conference championship in 2021, but had a losing record last season. The Bears are going to need better quarterback play. A player to watch for them is Odessa Permian alum Matt Jones, go Mojo. This will be his 3rd year starting at linebacker for Baylor. The University of Houston is new to the Big 12 this year. They're reunited with some of their old Southwest Conference rivals. Mike Leach protege Dana Holgerson coaches the Cougars. It looks like their quarterback will be Texas Tech transfer Donovan Smith. He played in 21 games for the Red Raiders. He also faced off with our local schools when he was the quarterback at Wolfforth Friendship. Now, Oklahoma State has the longest tenured coach in the Big 12. Mike Gundy has been in Stillwater since 2005. The Pokes are picked to finish 7th in the conference. Another Texas Tech transfer is expected to be this team's quarterback. You guys remember Alan Bowman? He was pretty good as a freshman before injuries derailed his career. For a long time, the Kansas Jayhawks could just be marked as an easy win on your team's schedule, but now they've got a competitive team. Their quarterback, Jalen Daniels, was picked to be the best offensive player in the Big 12 this year. And another new team, BYU. That's Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah. They have a strong football tradition. The Cougars had a good year last season, but have a lot of new faces this year. That includes 6'3", 230-pound running back Aiden Robbins. Now tomorrow will be Coach Joey McGuire and Texas Tech's time to shine. Tomorrow we can also preview the return of the Midland Rockhounds and Major League Baseball. These are just some lean times on the sports calendar. Stick around, we've got more after this quick break.
Still ahead, a local hero was awarded last night for his life-saving actions in saving an infant. That's next on CBS 7 News at 9. At last night's City Council meeting, Corporal Warenborg of the Big Spring Police Department was presented a letter of commendation and a Police Life-Saving Achievement Award for saving an infant. Corporal Warenborg was the first to arrive on a call for an infant drowning victim back in April. The officer immediately stepped in and performed CPR on the child until medical personnel arrived. In a Facebook post, the city of Big Spring wrote that the corporal's fast action, professionalism, and calmness saved the infant's life. What a heroic gesture, Tom.
Yes, and get be recognized like that because for all that he's done for the Howard County Big Spring community by doing that.
Really incredible, and drowning is one of those things during the summer you have to be cautious of with kids in the pool, in the heat.
Yeah, because it's so hot, so a lot of kids in the pool. This evening, though, you want to get out of the pool. Here's a reason why. Let's take a look at our live iCam in Odessa. Occasionally seen lightning with a thunderstorm moving across western portions of Ector County right now, where we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. That storm passing just to the south of Goldsmith, northwest part of the West Odessa area, with the possibility of wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. And again, we've had a few showers move across the city of Odessa, so trying to help us cool off a little bit.
Thanks for watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 the CW.